Hey guys, it's Tahira, and today I'm doing a book unhaul, which I haven't done in quite a long time. Also, if you can hear my fan in the background, I'm so sorry. It's currently hot here in California, so I have to keep the fan on. But the last time I did an unhaul was I think a couple years ago, so I have about 20 books, like give or take a couple of books that I'm thinking of giving away right now. I have some books that I'm for sure know that I'm going to be giving away, and then some books I'm still unsure about, but I'm still going to be talking about those in this video. So we're going to start off a little controversial with Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This book is loved by a lot of people, and it was really popular because Laini Taylor is a pretty popular and well-loved author. I read this quite a while ago, and honestly I don't remember what happened too much, and I personally have no interest in reading the sequel. There was a time when I was interested in picking up Muse of Nightmares, but as of now I have absolutely no interest in picking it up anytime soon, and I feel like most of this unhaul is because I'm actually, well, I still have some space, but I'm kind of running out of space on my bookshelf, so I just want to get rid of some books that are just taking up space that I don't either see myself picking up anytime in the future, or like don't see myself reading again ever. This copy is also damaged because I had a water bottle accident on a plane, and it's the last like 50-ish, 100-ish pages are like all wet. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not interested in this series anymore, but I know that someone else will love it because this author is well known. The next book is also by an author that is also well loved and very well known, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I have read some of Rainbow Rowell's books like Fangirl, which I really love, and Eleanor and Park, which is okay. But this one it's a book that the main character in Fangirl writes fan fiction for, and then the author like created a whole book out of that book in that book. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, and it's a lot like very similar to Harry Potter, and I don't know, I know there's a sequel now, and I think there might also be a third book in this trilogy, but I have no interest in picking up the rest of the books or reading this book ever again. The next book I actually started and read a little bit, but I never finished it, and that is Queer Brown Voices, Personal Narratives of Latino LGBT Activism. This is an anthology. I'm pretty sure it's a non-fiction anthology of different people's experiences with LGBT activism in the Latino community. I got this book because as a part of a book club at my university, and I don't know, I thought it would be fiction for some reason, but it's actually non-fiction, which I usually don't read. And I feel bad because they gave me this copy for free and they said I could keep it, so I kind of feel bad giving it away. I don't know, it's just such a niche topic that I personally don't really have any interest in. Like, it's not that I'm not interested in reading about LGBT activism, it's just that all these stories are set in such a particular community that I really can't really relate to, and I just found it really hard to connect because it's non-fiction, and a lot of it was just info dumping a lot of names of organizations and people's names, and it just felt like a long list of like organizations that they were telling us about, and I just personally couldn't connect to it. But I really hope that someone finds it and finds this informational for them. The next book I have read, and it's probably one of the only books I've ever given 1 star, and that is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I read this for school last year, and it took me like 6 months to finish it. I started it and then I didn't read it for 6 months, and I finished it like last August, and I really didn't like it. It just wasn't what I was expecting, and it was just a lot slower than I wanted it to be, and it's just, I don't know. Even though I was really looking forward to reading this because this is such a classic book and everyone says that everyone should read it, but I don't know, for me I just personally didn't like it. So yeah, I'm gonna be giving this away because I know for sure that someone else will definitely want a copy of this book. The next book I actually also got for school, but that was in 10th grade English in high school. And that is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. As I said, I read this for school and I bought it specifically for that English class. And it's not like I hated it, it's just, I don't know, it's a good book, but I don't really see myself reading it ever again. Like, I read this just because it was for school, and I don't know, like, other than that, like, if it wasn't for school, I would probably have never bought a copy for myself. So I think, again, someone else can probably find a better use for it than on my shelf. The next book is by a very popular booktuber here on YouTube, and that is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. This book I picked up again because I follow her on YouTube and I watch her videos, so of course I wanted to try and pick it up and see how it is. And there's a lot of criticism surrounding this book, but my main thing is that it just feels like a self-insert. It feels like the main character is like the author, because I watch the author, so I know her personality from her videos, and it feels like the main character is basically her. I give this book like 3.5 stars, I think, which is like not a bad rating at all. But again, I don't think I'm gonna read it again. I just need more space on my shelf for books that I know that I'm gonna really love, and books that like from authors that I really love, so I think I'm just gonna be giving this one away. The next book I am a little unsure about whether I want to actually give this one away or not, and that is Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Heng Wen. I actually read this book pretty recently, and I know like usually I don't give away books that quickly after I read them, but you know, I was just thinking, because I was just collecting books that I think I'm gonna be giving away, and like, why keep this if I know I might give it away sometime in the future? And again, I gave it like 3.5 stars, I think, and that's again not a bad rating at all. But just personally, I don't know, I liked this book, and I liked some of the things it talked about, but again, I don't know like how much I would reread it. And with a lot of these books in this unhaul, like I don't have any bad blood with most of these books. It's literally just I need more space on my shelf, so I'm just trying to get rid of books. The next book is a book that I actually don't really like that much, and I don't know why I've kept it for so long, and that is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshni Chokshi. I read this a while ago, like it's been several years since I read this, and I don't know, I just really didn't mesh well with the writing. I have read Roshni Chokshi's other books like A Crown of Wishes, which I actually liked a lot more than this. I know it's like set in the same world. And then I've read The Gilded Wolves, which I really enjoyed, and I've also read her Arusha and the End of Time series, which I also really love. And I think this is also her debut novel, so of course her writing has gotten better, but with this particular book I just didn't mesh well with the writing at all. It was just too purple prose, too flowery, too many metaphors for random things, too much descriptiveness that I didn't enjoy reading about, so that's why I'm going to be giving it away. This next book is one that I again haven't read in so long, and that is Witchwood by Tahirareads. I actually picked this book up solely, okay, maybe not solely, but a large part of it was because of the cover, because the cover is very beautiful. With the roses, it's just so pretty. But I don't know, I read it and it was just okay. I honestly don't remember. Tahirareads is known for her Shatter Me series, which I read a while ago, and I don't really love that series. I don't own it. I haven't read it in a really long time, but I actually have enjoyed her contemporary novel, A Very Large Expanse of Sea. So I think I enjoy her contemporary works a lot more than her, I guess, fantasy works. I think I was keeping this mostly because of the cover, and I think it's just time to give it up now. The next book also has a pretty cover, but I just didn't really like it that much, and that is Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. Also, if it feels like I'm going through these books super quickly, it's only because it's not like I hate all these books and I have so much that I want to rant about. It's just that I just need space on my shelves, and I'm just trying to get rid of the books. This book I liked in the beginning, but then it took a turn that I didn't really like, and I don't know, I just didn't like how it went the rest of the book. So I'm just gonna give it up. This is another book that I was really excited about, and I heard a lot of really great things about, so I'm kind of sad that I didn't love it as much as everyone else does. But you know, I'm glad I read it, and I know someone else will enjoy it more. Then I have There Will Be Lies by Nick Lake, which is probably one of the oldest books that's been on my shelf. I actually got this as a birthday present for my 13th birthday, which I feel bad about giving it away. And I read it when I was 13, and I haven't read it since, so it's been 6 years. It's not that I didn't like it, I really did enjoy it, but again, it's been 6 years. I haven't picked it up since then. I don't even remember what happens in this book. This is just one of those books I don't know if I will ever pick up and reread. There was a time when I did think that I would pick this up and reread it sometime in the future, but I don't really foresee that happening. I mean, of course I can keep it. I might keep this one, I don't know, but of course I can keep it and reread it like even a couple years from now, or whenever I guess I find the time, but I don't know, maybe I'll keep this one. Then I have another book that I read pretty recently, and that is The Gracier by Kim Liggett. This book I gave like 3.5 stars, which again is not a bad rating, but I just don't see myself rereading it ever. It was just okay. The premise was really interesting. The execution was just okay. And I think there's a lot more things that would make me not want to read it than there are things that would make me want to read it. So for those reasons, this book is getting chopped. Why did I just do a chopped reference? Oh my god, this is so bad, because the next book is also a book that I read fairly recently, and that is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This one, there was a lot of like mixed reviews about it. Some people really loved it and some people did not like it at all. So I think it was just one of those books that either you love it or you hate it. I though actually was just middle ground. It was just meh. I don't know. I don't really want to pick it up. I don't really want to reread it again. So I think I'm just gonna be giving it away. The cover is pretty cool though. It's very shiny and I don't know, the artwork is very cool. But I swear I usually don't read a book and then like give it away like a couple months later or a few months later. I don't know, it's gonna go. And all these books that I am giving up, if I ever do for some reason want to reread it sometime, I'm probably just gonna get a copy from the library instead. Then we have Gemini by Sonia Mukherjee, which I was actually thinking about unhauling in my last unhaul, but I ended up keeping it. But this time I am gonna unhaul it. This one I actually got from a Goodreads giveaway, my first and only Goodreads giveaway that I've ever won, so that's kind of cool. Actually, one of the main reasons I was keeping it is that it's a signed copy and the author herself like wrote me this really nice note along with the book, so I think that's why I was keeping it, because the author was so nice. But again, I read it once. I probably won't ever reread it again. The cover is kind of cool, but it's a kind of forgettable book for me. Then we have a series that I'm still debating on whether I actually want to give it away, and that is the Truthwitch series by Susan Dennard. I only have the first two books, Truthwitch and Windwitch, and I honestly forgot what happens in these books because it's been so long. And the reason I'm going back and forth on whether I actually want to unhaul this is because I remember liking it a lot when I read it, but as of right now, I just haven't had the motivation or the drive to pick up the other books in the series, the rest of the books in the series. But you know, I might just keep it and someday I'll buy the other books and then reread the whole series, but I don't know. I don't know if I should give this one up. Then I have Mirage by Sumaya Dodd, which is a fantasy novel with some sci-fi elements, and I remember that I didn't really like the sci-fi elements that were a part of this book. And I don't see myself rereading it anytime in the future. I feel like I've said that sentence a lot. So yeah, it's gonna go. I know that there is a second one that's coming out to this series or duology, I'm not sure which one. But I don't know if I actually have an interest in picking it up. I feel very middle of the road with this book. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, it was just okay. I don't know if I would read it again. Then I have The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye, and I read this a really long time ago too. It's been a while. And I was actually gonna pick up the sequel, but then I never got around to getting it, and now it's been so long that I don't even remember what happens in this book. And because of that, I don't have an interest in picking up the sequel. Maybe I'll reread it sometime, but I feel like I'd rather get it from the library and read it because, again, I just need space on my shelf. The next one might also be controversial, I don't know, and that is Passenger by Alexander Bracken. I also read this a while ago, so it's been a few years, and I enjoyed it when I read it, but it's been a while, and I honestly, like, even after I read it, I didn't have a motivation to pick up the sequel. And I think if I were ever to reread it, I'll just get it from the library. Half of the books in this haul, like, I don't even remember what happens in all the books, so maybe I need to reread them instead of giving them away. But I just don't want to. And then I have Winter Song by S.J. Jones. This one I read not too long ago. It has been more than a year at least, or maybe a couple years, but this one I thought it was okay when I first read it, and I know this also has a sequel, but I again don't have an interest in picking that one up, so it's gonna go. And then the last of the books this is the last book that I'm for sure gonna unhaul, and that is Flamecaster by Cynthia Williams Chima. I have read Cynthia Williams Chima's other series, I forgot what it's called, and I really enjoyed it, but I read it back in middle school, so it's been a really long time. This one I picked up because, again, I liked her other series, and I was kind of starting with my book collection, so I started to buy this. and I was gonna buy the rest of the series too, but that didn't happen. And again, it's been so long since I've read it that I don't really remember what happened, and I think I'm just gonna get it from the library if I ever want to pick it up again. And then I have a couple books that I'm still going back and forth on. The first one is A Song of Wraiths and Ruins by Roseanne Brown. I actually just talked about this in my last video, so it's been super recent that I read this, and I just didn't it was 3 stars for me. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was new. I feel like I want to get rid of it. Even though this shelf that it's on has still a lot of space, so it's not like I'm running out of space here. But again, I just don't know if I want to keep this one. It was just an okay book. I just didn't feel like there was anything new or original, and I think I've just read a lot of more unique and original books now that it's kind of hard to impress me now. But I'm still not sure about this one. And the last one, I'm leaning more towards keeping it, but I'm also considering giving it away, and that is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland told from, I think, the Queen of Hearts perspective and kind of her rise to madness or whatever. And the reason I'm thinking of giving it away is because it's a standalone novel. I don't know if I would ever pick it up again, even though I really enjoyed it when I first read it. And I really do like Marissa Meyer as an author. I love her Renegades series and her Lunar Chronicles series, which she's most known for. But this is, again, just a standalone novel, and even though it was really good, I don't know if I would ever read it again. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm gonna be unhauling or am thinking about unhauling. Some of these I'm still gonna go through again and make sure that I actually want to unhaul all of these. Let me know if you have unhauled any books recently, as I would love to know. But that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!